Just give me food! Oh, hi, I'm Rowan.
Just show me, Rowan, show me. And hi, I'm Zach.
And this is the very 25th episode of In the Zone. We're going to be talking about the episode People Are Like All Over. And before we do it, you can watch it on Netflix, the DVDs, get them at the library, good way to go. You can pay with Hulu, or I guess you have to pay with Netflix too. Pay
Yeah, but
CBS.com.
still, Hulu has no friends.
Alright.
Putting that out there.
So, we start out with a shot of a familiar fence.
Yes,
it is the fence from Third from the Sun. No smoking beyond this point.
Which they smoked right beyond.
We're like in a factory.
And they start out standing.
And there's a spaceship.
And they start out standing really still.
Yeah, and they're
like
behind bars.
Yeah, I thought that it was going to happen, like where they were standing there and like they were frozen, but it turned out that they were just
they were just in awe because they were looking at a spaceship.
I don't even know.
And then there's this really sad.
I think that was a good spaceship, by the way.
Yeah.
We never know if
very accurate.
Okay.
There are two men. There's Samuel L. Conrad and Warren Moccasin.
So we start out, and it's like Warren Moccasin.
He has a very sad speech
and
about
the
how
narrator goes, Warren Moccasin, 35, so close.
And then Samuel L. Conrad, 31.
Oh.
But Warren Moccasin has this.
Oh, by the way, in case you haven't seen a lot of our recent In the Zone episodes, shame on you, and you're confused.
Wait, did he say 36? Because that's the Twilight Zone, midlife crisis they always have. Like, walking distance guy?
Yeah, he was 36.
Harrington was 36.
Really?
The guy in What You Need, Fred Bernard was 36. And this is 36. Moccasin has this very sad speech about how they're 3 hours away from going in the spaceship, and instead of dancing with the women, eating food and stuff,
the streets.
Right, they're just looking at the spaceship. Sam asks Moccasin if he's scared, and he
Moccasin.
says no, but Sam is scared, and he's just a scientist, and he's only there for his mind, he says.
Can't they just put my mind up there and leave the rest of me down there?
Ha ha ha. That's for a different episode.
He's very funny.
And he's scared because he doesn't know what's going to be up there, but Moccasin has this theory that people are like all over. So they blast off, and they're going to Mars. Then they crash on Mars.
And Mars,
it looks like an orange.
No, I think it looks like a rotting tooth. Like
maybe.
A round rotting
But it looks
tooth.
like there are little orange slices in it. It's really funny.
It's not.
So they crash on it.
This is a common Twilight Zone theme, but not very science fiction.
So Sam is yelling for Moccasin.
Moccasin.
Like the shoe. I wrote it down. I'm a funny guy.
Oh, and we see a prop, and it's a familiar prop. It's the Pac-Man display from Elegy.
Yes, because, even Spaceman can have some fun sometimes, too. He's yelling for Moccasin, but Moccasin doesn't reply.
And we see Moccasin.
Then he finds his body.
We see him first, and he's under a mattress.
Yep. And then he takes out a needle,
he sees the hand.
and he injects it into him. And it's so, oi, 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 oi. Like, there's a close-up, and you see it go through his skin. Then you see it twist out, and it goes, ah! No, just kidding, he covers it up with his hand. But
it's still
yeah. But this seems to wake up the guy, and so Moccasin wakes. And they hear some footsteps, some soft footsteps. And then we have a fade, and then Moccasin has fallen asleep, and he's woken up again. And Sam is or Moccasin's like, how long was I sleeping? And Sam says, a couple of hours, and he's just standing by the door. So that means he just spent a couple of hours listening to footsteps. Can you believe that? I don't. He says the door is blocked, but Moccasin's like, you're a liar! You can do it! You're just scared.
Which is very mature of him.
And then Moccasin's like, I'm dying! Let me go outside so I can see what I'm dying for. But,
I'm bleeding on the inside.
But Sam, and this is a really cool moment, he just dies. He could have let him seen it, but he was just so scared that he, lets him die, in there. He couldn't have prevented the death, but still. And so, here's the tippy-toes again,
and then
footsteps.
The door.
It slowly opens, and Sam gets out his gun, fade to black. Then
that was creepy.
We come back, and then he still has his gun, comes out, and he sees Roman people. It's in the toga age.
Yes.
They have togas, and they're all standing there.
And they have,
they look like humans.
This one, woman who speaks in this annoying voice has yeah, she has a gravity-defying dress.
So they take his gun and throw it. And he's happy because they're just like him, which confirms Moccason's theory that I forgot to mention, it was also his dying words. People are alike everywhere. So he tries to explain to them what he's doing, and he starts to draw Earth and Mars, and he's like, but then the Joker guy's like, your friend's dead. And he's like, oh. He's like, you're speaking my language. But then they say they're hypnotizing him into speaking their language. It doesn't make sense, but they offer an explanation, and they say it in such a way that it hypnotizes us into listening to their language and believing that they said something that made any sense. And so they say that they'll bury their friend and repair the ship. And the scene is, I think the episode is kind of boring. What? Not a lot happens. There's a lot of, like, that whole scene where he's just waiting and he's talking to him. Like, I've seen the spaceship too long, guys.
Okay, yeah. Fair
I wrote down a couple of times that it was boring. And so Sam wants to ask them questions, and the guy says he'll answer them after you rest while we build you a place. He asks the pretty Roman lady, what's your name? And she says, Tina. So it's like Tina, but with like one of those.
Yeah, one of those like curvy ends.
Right, exactly.
One of those curvy ends that you want to go sledding on.
He's like, make sure to tell them that I'm appreciative of all that they're doing. And she's like, you must believe that we will not harm you. And he's like, okay.
Which isn't suspicious at all.
Yeah, it's actually really suspicious. I know. Anyways, so he wakes up, and then they're like, we have a surprise, come. And then it's a house, it's like an Earth house, and they're like, is this like mine? And they're like, no, we read your minds, and so,
which also isn't creepy at all.
What's cool is that they hint at that they have so much power. Like, we have no idea what they're capable of.
Yeah.
They can read minds, they can make you speak languages, they can hypnotize you.
They can make houses in a night.
Like, yeah, it's so cool.
And
so
they're
that's
like
kind of
still
spooky.
Romans.
Right. And so
I was kind of half expecting them to like still be like at the age of the Romans. And like saying that every civilization went through the same thing, and then like pitting him in a gladiator fight against a wild
Yeah, that would be cool. So then they want him to stay there while they prepare a tour. He goes and he says, I will see you again, won't I, Tina? And Tina doesn't respond. The guy goes, yes, of course, bye. So then we fade, and then Borgstein's pouring himself a drink. He's like, this is the best scotch I've ever had. And then he tries to get out, but the doors are all locked. What? Pulls out the curtains, there's a big old wall. So then the wall opens up, and there are a bunch of Romans looking at him. And what's so cool is Tina's in the crowd, and she's so ashamed. She walks away. She's sad. And he's kind of, like, throughout the episode, like, vaguely in love with her. I mean, they talk for, like, a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And it would be so much better if they had built up a relationship, but she betrays him.
Yeah.
What a missed opportunity.
They don't have 25 minutes.
You know what? There are some things that could have been cut and put in more of Tina and Sam.
We should add best romance.
That's a good idea.
Or like weirdest romance.
Worst romance, because there are a couple of romances. Just sign the papers! He's like, why are you all looking at me? And they're bars. And then he sees a sign, human in natural habitat.
No, Earth creature.
In natural habitat. And then, it's a human zoo. You were right, Moccasin. People are alike everywhere. And then it's the end. What do you think?
You know, it was a little bit slow, but it wasn't that bad. I've seen a lot of clunkers, and I don't think this quite qualifies.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's not on the level of Fever, Elegy, and Third from the Sun.
I don't know about. I think it's pretty close because there's not a lot that interests me about this. There are some cool things. I think the guy who plays Sam is a good actor.
Yeah.
Who is that? Roddy McDowell. The plot isn't bad. I like it. It's like, but it's kind of simple.
It's a poorly paced episode.
And it's like, I guess it's a. I was listening to a Twilight Zone podcast. They said this was a criticism on prejudice, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels more like a criticism on zoos. And it would have been better if they had more romance between those two, because they kind of had that going, but then, so it doesn't feel like she betrayed him.
It had a great twist.
I mean,
I was not expecting that twist.
I think she feels guilty, but because just of how she's treated him, but we have no evidence beforehand that she is like a compassionate person.
And she has the worst voice.
Well, hello.
So it was not that great. It was had a good twist at the end, though. So it gets points for the good twist. The acting did definitely not detract from it.
Mm-hmm.
It was original.
Cool. Yeah. But I mean, it wasn't a surprise that the aliens were evil. You knew the whole time.
Right. I did, but like I was expecting, I don't know, them to like poison him or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is the best scotch I've ever had yet, at least with arsenic.
Yep. It would have been better if there was more foreshadowing to the specifics of a zoo. The only foreshadowing we get is at the beginning. It's like visual where they're behind the bars.
That's not a foreshadowing.
I think it was intentional. That's
Really?
that's how a lot of people read it. 4.5, guys.
Whew. That changes matters.
No?
Okay, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Good.
Still, let's see.
10!
10! No. I am kidding. Okay. So, let's think. I didn't like how they reused a lot of props. It was, like, painful. How much effort would it be to, like, rip the no smoking sign? No one would have ever known.
It was fun. That part was entertaining for me because I was like, oh, wow. It kept my interest, personally.
I mean, that's not really a good thing.
No, it's not.
Like, it got me the interest out, like, I don't know, the actor's pants fell down.
Oh, that would have been awesome. What if in the Earth Zoo, a guy comes up, pulls his pants.
By the way,
Earth
by the
on
way,
me.
I might be a little bit harsher than you were. There was nothing good about that episode except the twist.
Yeah.
The
acting was good.
I mean, the acting didn't lose it points. I don't usually give points unless,
Right.
you know, the acting.
It's above and beyond or below and beyond. And the acting, you know.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go, let's see. I'm gonna go like you and be a 4.5.
Wow. Wonderful.
That's
inspiring.
less than each of the ratings on a lot of episodes.
Right. Next episode, hopefully better, will be about the episode Execution.
Ooh,
And
I
we'll
want to watch
see
that
you
one.
there.